because of the fact that I knew how I once was before I came to Christ. And then, once I came to Christ, it's like the veil was kind of lifted up over, out in front of my face, and I could see it a lot better for what it really was.
Amen. Amen. How many of y'all can get on that, hop on that horse? I mean, really? Because I forgot the question I asked you too, but that was such a good explanation. I was about to give you the mic, man. But the thing is, it's the unforgiveness thing. What happened with me was I've learned to conquer it, but he took me through some strange things to conquer that, and it was more so every time I said that I wouldn't, God would. Every time I say, Lord, if you do this, then I'm not gonna forgive them. I'm not gonna do this. If they do this, then I'm not gonna forgive them. So next thing you know, that thing happens. It's almost like the good challenge. Like, man, you're saying you're not gonna forgive them, and you gave your life to me. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep pouring it on. We might think that God is doing us wrong, but it's like He's the one putting us through the training. He's the one that's allowing our faith to be tried. And the more our faith is tried, the more things shed off. Anybody ever took the challenges God told you and took offense to them? The things that God is saying, okay, you said, Lord, well, if this happened, I give up. And then that thing happens. Y'all ever thought y'all took offense to that? Like God just had a bad sense of humor? I mean, seriously. Mona said, nope, she took it all. But I thought that sometimes. I remember when I was going through the unforgiveness thing, and it was with my ex. I tell you all that story. I know I couldn't just throw that out there. Man, I'm going to have to go back to that story. I shouldn't even said that. But it was with my ex, and I was like, Lord, if she goes out and do this, then I'm done. And guess what? She went out and did it. And I'm sitting there like, you put me in a tight spot right now, because I can't give up on you. How many of you know when it's almost like when you tell God that you're not going to do something, and He puts you in a situation where you have to do it, it's almost like you know that you can't back off. You know that you're not going to be able to not do what He tells you to do, because it feels like if I don't do it, then I've just abandoned Him. That sounds familiar? Yeah. I felt like when I felt like He put me in such a situation, I was going to either have to tell Him, Lord, I'm done with you, or I'm done with this situation, because it kind of like came hand in hand. He's like, look, this is the course that you're going to have to take in order for you to be healed. You can't get around that. I'm going to take you through this path, and you have to take what you have to take. But lo, I'm going to be with you. Or was it, yea, I'm going to be with you? That's what I get trying to speak in that broken dialect. I'm going to be with you. That's what He says. I'm going to be with you. He says, even to the ends of the earth. So that causes me to trust God more. But the thing is, I feel like, because I have an unforgiving heart, I feel like I got a right to feel like I do. I got a right to hold a grudge against that person or that situation for what happened or for what they did. Right? I feel like, look, Lord, you wouldn't even tolerate that. But He did. The funny thing is, you can never get God on that one. But how many of you felt so strong about when you've harbored unforgiveness? I got a right to feel that way. Amen. I got a right, but it was strong though, right? It was so strong that you kind of like resisted God because it was so strong. You was like, now, because you never would question God with other things. But now when it came to this, no, Lord, no way. No way. There's no way in the world you want me to forgive that person. You know what they did, Lord. There's no way in the world I can get over that. You wouldn't want me to do that. How many of y'all had some rough stuff happen in your life, man? I mean, some I would even say gruesome. Might still be a what? But it was to the point where, and I'm talking about, man, I'm not even talking about when we were saved. I'm talking about, man, when just in our life period, just had some downright messed up stuff happen to us. How did you feel? Who said they did it? Okay, and we come to you. Well, I come to you now. How did you feel when, you don't have to share with us what it was, but how did you feel? And I'm talking about, when I say happened to you, I'm talking about it wasn't anything that you did.
Yeah.
It just happened. And you just felt like it was just totally, man, like unfair, man, and blase, blase. But tell us how you felt when it happened.
I mean, at the time, you know, when it happened to me, first of all, it felt unreal. So it didn't really register in until probably a little bit later on. But, I mean, I guess you could say hate. It was just nothing but hate, you know what I'm saying? And it was pretty overwhelming. You know, it wasn't something where I really wanted to discuss whether I was going to forgive that person or not. I just felt like it just wasn't an option to forgive that person because it was something that was so it was that serious. So you know, and I carried it on for years, man. And you know, I was, but you know what? I was never at peace though.
Right. How did you view life though? Like, I
had to look. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I had to look at everybody. I had to put a wall up, and I had to look at everybody through like a different pair of glasses, I guess you could say, because you know, you don't want to have to go through that again. So you, instead of, you know, at the time I wasn't saved, so I always had to look out for me, you know, because no one else had my back, is what I felt.
Kind of like you just didn't trust anybody.
Right. So it's like the people, because, you know, this is the one I actually trusted. So when that does happen, you got to look at everybody like, yo, I thought I trusted you, but now the one person I thought I could trust, that's taken away from me. So all I got is me.
Right. Y'all, you know, that sound familiar?
Oh yeah.
And, you know, said something now, so I got more heads nodding now. But the thing is, usually it's one thing that you said, and it's crazy because that's some hurt right there when it's somebody you trust. That's what makes us feel like nobody can be right. Nobody. It's no way in the world that I can trust